So what's up, everyone out there? Welcome to the Elite Athlete Podcast. And as you can see, we are inside Phase 1 Elite right here in Las Vegas. And I have one of my young superstars that I've had the opportunity to really watch develop over the years. So I'm excited about today's episode and kind of getting in her brain a little bit, into her mind to see, how she's wired, how we accomplish everything that she has in such a short time. So I would like her to introduce herself, and we're going to get right into it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. My name is Charlotte Henness. I am an incoming sophomore into University of California, Davis. I play on the women's soccer team there. I've been playing soccer since I was about 3 or 4 years old, so about 16 years of my life. I'm 19. Kind of crazy to think about. I met Mike back in, middle school? Sixth grade?
Yeah, for sure, about sixth grade.
Yeah, I've known Mike for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Been through a lot of trainings with Mike. Feel super grateful to get to work with him through all of that. I'm an attacking midfielder. I started off as a goalkeeper from about, I wasn't the fastest growing up. So I got put in the goal box around like 4th grade, played goalie till like 9th grade. And my recruiting process for soccer didn't start till 10th grade, which is super odd, considering like it usually starts 9th grade and you're already in your position and whatnot. And so, I made the switch to the field about 10th grade, and now I'm Division I athlete, which is pretty sick.
Love it. Congrats on that. So I want to go back into that story because there was a part, like a pivotal time in there that I remember that I feel like was really when everything kind of shifted. You played goalie, like you said, for all those years. Yeah. Kind of leading up. She's a goalie. I went to games, watched her in the box doing her thing, and then it was like, I don't know, kind of caught me off guard because it was just like a random conversation of like, hey, I didn't talk to you, I'm switching positions. I'm like, what do you mean? Who switches positions at this point? So when you switched from goalie, what grade were you in then?
I was 9th grade. It was 9th grade.
That's rare.
Yeah. So January 9th grade year, going into that summer would have been going into 10th grade.
Okay,
I made that switch. I remember going up to my Coach Everton at the time, and I was like, "Listen, man, I really want to play midfield. I'm like 5'3". Like, I'm not making it to Division I level.
My goalie life is limited.
It's over, right? And it kind of just started with like me at practice playing with the ball all the time. I would do like fun little tricks. I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun.
I can do it.
I just remember that transition though, that winter break, like having to learn how to love to run, because going from a position that you run not even a mile a game. Goalkeeper, I'm shuffling.
Literally.
Anything.
Shuffling maybe a mile.
To like full blown 6 miles a game, 7 miles a game.
For sure.
But that was a really, really crazy transition.
So that was so on my side of that transition. So what I thought was cool. So she comes in, we have this conversation, and that kind of really started her and I on a training mission to make it happen. With me it's simple. You tell me what your goal is, I'm like, all right, well, let's figure it out, let's get there. But what I will say, man, I've been doing this for a long time. From day one, she has been one of the hardest working athletes that we've had at Phase 1 and that I've been able to work with, period. So the question I have is, what was your mindset when you switched from goalie to mid, knowing that you hadn't played it before, knowing that you got girls on your team that are already getting recruited, already scholarship offers, so recruiting's already like full swing, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and switch things up a little bit. What was the mindset of that?
Man, to be honest, I haven't even rethought. I haven't even thought about that, really. I just kind of kept going with the process. I think I went in with no expectations. I think that was the key point is hopefully it works out. The talk was, okay, D3, D2 most, and so I was like, well, if there's no expectation, I'm just gonna go and have fun. Because I get to start brand. My coach would compare me to being like a ball of clay. I get to be shaped into something. I had no prior bad habits from playing midfield because I'd never played it before. A lot of times you get girls that have bad habit not checking the shoulder or bad first touch, bad this. It was all brand new. So I got to kind of work from the beginning. But I think my mindset was just honestly have fun, see where it goes, and because it's just such a journey and a path, and just enjoy it, because I've learned life's so short, and just have fun with what you get to do.
For sure.
That's kind of my mindset.
No, I love it. And so your family, obviously I know the entire family, which is awesome. So your family, very sports oriented, very into it. So You've definitely, have had good support from your circle. So my question is, and I've even had this conversation with your mom before, like when you're not here, this is what we talk about. So my question is, I feel like, and I've been explaining to her that you have a work ethic and a focus and like determination that is, at a super high level compared to, like I said, it's been 20 years of athlete development. So I feel like when I make an assessment, it's pretty legit because I've only worked with 5,000 athletes. But you've had that focus and that determination, and now, which we'll get into next, listening to some of the things that you've done even in your short college career so far is just super impressive. So I'm just curious that what would you attribute that mentality to, that mindset, that competitiveness, that like go all out, train on your own, train with the trainer, train, you know what I mean? Like you're all in. Where does that come from?
That's a really good question. I think a lot of it, I'm sorry, Dad, but a lot of it comes from my mom. I gotta give her that.
And the winner is.
No, a lot of it comes from her, but also a lot of it is just I really, really love what I do.
That's awesome.
I really, really enjoy training. I enjoy just throwing my body through the ringer to get better, because if I can get 1% better every day, that's all that matters to me. And it's a lot of people say, oh, it's like a wave, it's like this. It's never really a wave. It goes up, and then you might kind of stay here for a minute, and then you go back up again. But it's just like enjoying that process, because if you're always going up, you never have to face the adversity of what it feels like to stay or kind of feel like you're going down again. But I would genuinely say I love what I do.
That's awesome.
And like, I don't know why. I truly, truly enjoy it. And so, but I think my mom's competitive spirit has definitely come out more and more throughout college. I wasn't always the most competitive in soccer. No, okay. I would compete with myself, but I had a really bad time with comparing myself to other people and other people's successes, especially girls who have been playing their position 8 years. I was like, well, how come I'm not there yet? How come I'm not that fast? And so I would just say like that once I started to believe in myself a little bit more and have more fun, it became like I really enjoy what I get to do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I love it. And this is what I will say as well, which I love, even when you went through that window of compare yourself, because new position, they've been doing it. You went through that, but the number one thing that I feel like you did that entire time was you developed. Like you kept training, you kept working, even if those thoughts were there, or you maybe were frustrated at times of, I should be playing more, this should be happening, but you never lost sight of the work. So I knew it was just a matter of time that it was just going to take off and go crazy. So I am going to get into the competitiveness of your mom soon. But before we get to that, college. I got a lot of athletes that are high school that are transitioning into college soon, whether it's this summer or over the next couple years. What has that transition been like? Just going from high school here in Las Vegas to now kind of quote unquote on your own and kind of doing what has that been like?
College is, I would say, the best time of my entire life. I really, really love college. I feel blessed to be where I am, on the team that I'm on. But nothing prepares you for the athletic side of it. Nothing. I was doing last summer 6 a.m.s every morning, boom, 8 a.m. at the field, 8 to 9:30, boom, back to the gym, lift, then boom, practice at night. Nothing prepares you for when you step onto that field and you got 21-year-olds, 20-year-olds, even 22-year-olds out there. The competitiveness, the physicality, nothing prepares you for it. And so that transition for me was actually really, really hard in terms of athletics.
Got it.
College side was a bit easier. I'm very independent. I liked living in a dorm with my 2 roommates. I, took care of myself throughout that period. But like the academic side is very important, of course. I would say high school's very easy. High school's very easy compared to college. It's so easy. And so so the academic college side was good, but the athletic transition was really, really hard for me. I've never been humbled so quickly.
Really?
I got humbled pretty quickly. I think that's what made me grow the most, is just like realizing that everybody on that field is a 90-minute player on their club team, not just you.
Yeah, exactly.
And so,
love it. No, that's big. And so I want to touch on a couple things as well, kind of following up with that. But what I love about it is that adversity, you were already kind of built for it. You know what I mean? Like you already had layers of adversity that you've been through from changing positions and coaches and all that stuff. So I feel like you had a good background. But my question is, when you got hit with that and you felt like, dude, things have just changed. Like this is the real deal.
Yeah.
From talking to your mom and knowing you, through that, you still did a couple things that I thought were super important. Obviously, you still showed up and went 100%.
Yeah.
But you also created like your own like training and doing stuff off the field, stuff, you know, just by yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like you still like were able to lock in even in the middle of that adversity. So is that something that you kind of knew going in? Was like, you know what, I'm going to continue to do this? Or was that more like you got there, it was challenging, super competitive, and you were like, dude, I got to do even more than I've been doing?
I would say I always trained on my own outside of club practices, and I always had other trainings outside of practice. You know, a lot of girls come from club and it's just club trainings. That's all they have. They don't do any speed work, they don't do any lift, they don't do any of that. And so for me, I knew I was going to have to train more. And when I found out I was going to be redshirted my freshman year and whatnot, I knew, okay, well, I'm not playing on Thursday or Sunday, so I get to train even more.
Train harder.
How can I prepare for winter now? Because winter's all conditioning.
Awesome.
So you go straight into that. And so it's like, but you got to keep a sound mind and know, you know, because fall season for soccer is the most competitive. It's, you know, you're playing 2 games a week, you're traveling, you're doing all of that. And so, like, for me, it was, how can I still be better? Because I got to travel for I missed one game, which was the first game, which is UTEP. But I got to travel despite being redshirted, which is crazy because I kept a good mind about it. I was still helping out at practice. I was still grinding at practice. I had a good mindset. But when we were on travel trips, I would run. Really? I would run at the hotel. I would go and run because I knew I wasn't going to play that game.
I'm not playing, so I
got to get my fitness in, right?
And I'm here, so.
Yeah, I still went into it knowing I have to keep on putting in work because I also knew I was 5 years behind everyone else in terms of my position. So it was like, that's one thing I would advise, you know, if you're in high school is go into college knowing that you have to work so much more on top of your college practices. If you really want to be where you want to be, like, don't stop. Don't become complacent because right as you become complacent, you got another, you know, incoming freshman year. You got girls coming in who want to take that spot, and you got to keep competing to stay in your spot and compete with the people above you. And so, I would just say, and I would say, like, also for me, training outside of practice allowed me to kind of find myself a little bit more and have fun. There's no pressure.
Just kind of you doing your thing.
Yeah, playing with the ball, running, just like it was my therapy at that time. So,
No, that's perfect. I love it. So now you said something that I thought was key, and I know a lot of people probably won't be able to really, or didn't catch it, but you were red shirt, right?
Yeah.
Red shirt freshman. So even though you're red shirt, you still traveled, sounds like 90% of the time, if not whatever that percentage is. But so what do you think? Because we know traditionally, and then some of you may not know, but traditionally, if you're a red shirt student athlete, you're typically not traveling with the team. They typically leave you back, and you kind of look at the list of who's traveling. After a couple weeks, you don't even pay attention anymore because you're like, no, I'm not on the list. Because I'm red shirting, so I'm just going to stay home, stay in the dorm, whatever. Good luck. You know, that's kind of the thing. So you were able to travel to every game except for one. Why? Why is that? Why do you think the coach made the decision that's like, hey, Charlotte's on the list? Because, I mean, coaches got to think about so much stuff. They're thinking about budgets, travel expenses, hotels, all that. So there's a lot that goes into a university program. So typically, it says a lot when a coach says, this is my red shirt, but I still need her to travel. And I need her to be there, even though I know I'm not putting her in. I know she's not going to be on the field, but I want her there. Why did she make that decision?
Man, I wish I could ask Coach Ham. That's my head coach. But I think for me, it's because I kept showing up at practice every day. It was just, and I had a good mindset. I was making girls laugh. I was having fun, you know. When we would do, like, I was like on the, what is that called? The shadow team almost, you know, not even your starting lineup. I was scout team. I was on the scout team and like, but I still competed. Like I was on the actual, you know, like if we were Fullerton that week, I made sure that my Fullerton team won. I wanted to win. I was like, no, I'm going to make our team.
That's awesome.
No, I mean, like we competed with each other. And
love it.
I mean, I was helping out with the equipment. I was just doing the things that like it kind of helps keep the team keep going. You know,
That's
I was
awesome.
leading by an example.
Yeah,
That's it. And you just gotta
love
have fun, because if you let, you know, being redshirted, it's not a bad thing to be redshirted.
Yeah,
It really
for
isn't.
sure.
I
It's
get
not.
I get another whole year to go play.
It's a great development time.
And I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed that development
Yeah,
time. I came in last year, I was not physically prepared, like in terms of physicality or
Yeah.
competitive. I was not.
Yeah.
I know that about myself,
Yeah.
and that's okay, because
that's
I'm,
good.
you know, going into my sophomore year, and I'm super excited for that. But
Yeah.
I would just say it's all about the way you look at things, how you perceive that challenge.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Life is what you truly make it, and it's the ways you want to look at it, glass half full or glass half empty.
Yeah.
And it was half full. I was like, hey, if I have to stay back, and let's say I didn't get picked to travel, and you know, there's that one game I didn't, it kind of hurt, but how can I make myself better though?
Yeah, what am I
You know?
going to do now that I'm here?
Yeah, might as well. You got to make the best out of it. And so,
love it.
yeah, I just think I got along really well with the girls,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kept working no matter what. And so,
I love that. I love that.
it's mindset.
And I have not met Coach Ham yet. However, I'm going to answer the question for you, Coach. So don't worry, I got you. I think a big part of the reason that you were traveling, if I'm Coach Ham, just coach to coach, is that she sees the potential in what you're going to turn into, or how you're going to develop over the next couple years. She sees that you're going to be a key player in her program. She sees that you're also going to be an even better leader, better captain, and you're already a good leader walking in. So I think she sees that. And for me, if I'm a coach and I make that decision to have a redshirt travel, it's because I want them to experience the travel. So that way next year it's not a big deal. But then I also want them to pick up on things that they may not pick up on if you're focused on the game.
Gotcha.
You're focusing on the team, the camaraderie, the dinners, the breakfast, you know, how everyone's interacting. Like you said, staying loose, having fun.
Yeah.
Those are things that sometimes you get lost in when you're focusing on the game. That's going to be tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
So I think you traveling and not playing this year was her way of putting you in the position to where next year the leadership is just going to go through the roof. So, so Coach Ham, if you disagree, you can let us know, but I'm feeling like you're going to sign off on that.
Yeah.
But so that's what I think. So with that, I do want to kind of travel down the road or back to the competitiveness and your mom. So you guys, obviously, we didn't film it because it was a closed caption event, but her and her mother, Brooke, literally just went through one of our warrior workouts together. Her mom is probably one of the more competitive people that I've been around. And, you know, she's like 52. She'll probably kill us for saying that. Maybe she won't. But she's like 52. But she literally shows up every single workout and trains harder than majority of the athletes that I have. And so that's why that competitive thing has always been a question of mine, because Charlotte has those same attributes and kind of mindset. So I always kind of like ask Brooke, like, how did you do it? Especially now I have a daughter. So I'm like, what do I need to do? Like, how did you create this child right here? Like mentally and the mindset and the work ethic. And she agrees that I think some of it is innate. It's because you love what you do and you want to be competitive, you want to be good. But what is it like being, you know, with your mom and the rest and your brothers? I mean, you guys are a pretty competitive family. I've seen like all out like arguments over spike ball. My
mom dislocated her shoulder playing spike ball.
You see what I'm saying? So I've seen this at like a high level of like, to where even I pull back like, okay guys, I think we're good. So how has that played a role? And do you think that it has helped you with now having to be competitive on a daily basis, you know, on the field?
I think I always watched my mom train, and just like that constant grind, like there is no stop. Like, you know, we'll be up in Idaho at the gym and whatnot. She'll climb 3 Empire State Buildings on the stair climber. Just does not stop. And I'm just thinking, she's older than me. I'm younger. I have to be able to do that too.
Yeah, I should be able to match it.
We're competing with each other, always in a healthy mindset.
Yeah,
and so
that's good.
I really, I don't know. That's where I learned it from, I think. And having 3 older brothers to push me, and like, I will not lose. I'm not going to lose to you, because to me, I need to show that. You know, I think there's this thing too, like as an athlete, they're not athletes, they're not in college. Like,
Yeah.
I have to be better. I have to be the superior one. So, yeah.
You see that? You can see it coming out right there, right?
I'm
She
excited.
said, I have to be the superior one. Like, this is within the house.
Yeah, no,
So that
yeah.
tells you, like, what level of competitiveness. I love it.
Yeah.
No, so I think that's super awesome. So I feel like you're really in tune. You know what I mean? Like, mature for
Really?
your age, your grade. I think you're very mature. I think you have a very good grasp on where you're at. You know, where you're at training-wise, where you're at on the field, where you're at as a college athlete. So my question to you is, what are some things, or why do you feel like you're so grounded in where you're at? You know what I mean? I know your mom was telling me you've done some stuff differently this last semester. Sports, working with a sports psych, I think a little bit. So if that's something you're comfortable touching on,
sure.
I would love to hear a little bit more. Because I think it's something that more athletes can benefit from.
Oh, 100%,
but either don't know or just haven't got to that point.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm just curious as to, how you feel like that is related to your mindset and where you're at today.
Yeah, it's kind of like a brief story. This was back, so we do quarter system at Davis. So fall season ends, come home for Thanksgiving break. We go back winter. And, well, before winter break, we have our winter training packet, all of that. Okay, cool. Winter for soccer is just all conditioning, pretty much. A little bit of ball work. I think you're allowed 4 hours on the ball per NCAA rules, and like the other 4 is like off the ball, so conditioning and whatnot. One day at night I wanted to go do a little bit of extra work, and I just had a complete mental breakdown in the middle of January. Just bawled on the phone to my dad and just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I feel burnt out. Like I'm exhausted. I have no motivation to even kick the ball. This is, I'm done. I'm done. Like I was tapped, and I owe a lot of my grounding, honestly, to my dad. Very sound dude. He kind of just like talked me through it and was like, you got to figure this out. Like the only thing that's ever going to stop you is yourself. And so that same night, I looked up a sports psychologist in Santa Rosa, California. I got on the phone with her, Kelly. Shout out Kelly. I love Kelly.
What's up, Kelly?
She's awesome. And we started working once a week. And it started off with soccer, talking a lot about soccer. Why am I so nervous to play? That was a big issue in fall, is I had no confidence. I'd done all the work I needed to do, but it went to nothing because I wasn't confident. I didn't believe I could pass a ball 10 yards in front of me. It was awful. I was really going through it at the time, and I was just, so from that fall season going into winter, just still feeling that way, like just things didn't feel good, right? It wasn't in a good place. And working with a sports psychologist, though, I started to learn that my life is like a life raft, right? And on this life raft, there's various bubbles that make it afloat. And for me, soccer was this massive bubble. It was just taking up all this space. And when soccer felt like it was deflating, the rest of the life raft was also deflating. And there's things that make up my life raft, right? My family, academics, soccer's a big one, but my friendships, relationships, that all makes up my life raft. But because it was so unbalanced, when soccer was going wrong, my whole life was going down. And I started to realize, I got to learn how to balance my life and find myself outside of soccer. And that was the big transition from winter to spring was, I'm not just a soccer player. Soccer's dope. I've done it for 16 years, but there's so much more to me in my life than just kicking a ball around all the time. And because of that, I was able to get out of the burnout phase. I was able to wake up and be like, I'm so excited to go to practice. Where in the winter, I was like, I don't want to go to practice, And having that mindset of being okay with where I am right now, and just knowing this is where I'm meant to be. This is, I'm this way right now. Doesn't mean I'm always going to be this way, but I'm here. I'm going to do the best with what I got right now, and continue just to look at life in this better mindset and really, really enjoy it.
That's
and
awesome.
For me, soccer ended up becoming more and more fun each time, and it was I'm having more fun, more freedom. I'm expressing myself a bit more, all because I kind of stepped away for a minute. And was just just
kind of cleared it out and saw the bigger picture a little bit clearer, which I love, because a lot of athletes do, their sport becomes your identity, and
100%.
it's very, very, very dangerous. Of course, when you're young, you're having fun, or you're the star player and all that, it's all good. You kind of ride the wave, but you have to be very, very careful that you don't just allow that to represent 100% of who you are. Because when that's going rough, or something goes bad, or injury, it's easy to just crash and burn.
Yeah.
Because you feel like it's over. You feel like, because that's all you feel like you had.
Mm-hmm.
Even though in reality, I love that analogy you gave with the life raft, because that's a great one, because like you said, each one of those bubbles that are keeping you afloat, they're all part of it's life raft. That's what keeps your life going, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we could put a lot of emphasis, like you said, on one, and when that's going rough, all of a sudden you're sinking and it's not looking good, you know?
Oh my,
but when you have that circle, that complete life raft, you already know now you can lean on those other bubbles to get back whatever you feel like that, you know, may be down. So no, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course, yeah.
So I love that. All right, so as we kind of get ready to land the plane a little bit, I know a little bit about your summer schedule and what you got going right now. However, I think it'll be easier for you to explain. You might need your calendar or whatever, but so busy summer. Busy summer.
Yeah.
So back us up to when you first, came back to town, came back to Vegas. What have you done up to, from then till now? And then what do you have going for the rest of the summer as you head back in?
School ended June 16th. Next day, as a team, we got on a plane, went to Costa Rica for a whole week.
Oh, nice.
Super sick the first day we got to play the Costa Rican national team. I did not.
Cool.
I was too sick.
Oh, wow. That
Couldn't get out of bed. It sucked.
Oh, wow.
But we were in Costa Rica for about 8 or 9 days, I want to say. Got to play 2 more games over there, do some youth clinics. Super fun. Got back, let's see, what day did I come? I came back to Vegas what's today? Wednesday?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Last week, this week.
Yeah, I got back to Vegas on Saturday, so I've been home for about 4 or 5 days now.
Yeah.
I hop on a plane to go to Italy on the 7th, so I got about, I think, 6 more days at home.
Yeah.
6 more days at home.
Awesome.
I'm in Italy from July 7th to the 24th, so 17 days at an academy
nice.
over there, soccer academy, which I feel super grateful to take part of. It's a 2-week academy. It's co-ed, so boys and girls. We got beach training, strength and conditioning, 11v11 games.
Nice.
Everything is on there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Everything,
That's gonna be great.
So I'm there, and then I get back the 24th. I leave 4 days later to head back out to Davis because preseason starts the August 1st. I think August 1st. We have our first meetings. The 2nd, we start training.
Love it.
So in total, home for about 10 to 12 days.
12 days of the whole summer.
But just as of right now, just
summer break.
just training and lifting right now for the last couple days,
Okay.
and preparing mainly for Italy. So a lot more running. And,
getting conditioning base, getting ready. No, I love that, man, and that's huge.
Yeah.
And that's perfect, for your sport and being able to go to Italy. That's going to be a great experience for what you got going. So I like it. So my final question is, athletes that are watching this, there's young soccer players out there, all different sports, that they're trying to accomplish what you're doing right now. You know what I mean? I know you're just getting started. You got a lot more you're going to do. So we'll have to run this back annually so we can get the update. But what advice or what knowledge, what bombs can you drop for young athletes out there, just to give them just a little slight advantage mentally as they, kind of chase their dreams and pursue their journey of playing at the next level?
I have a lot I could say, but one of my main takeaways is do not compare where you're at to anyone else. That's a big one always, but also know it is a lot harder than what anyone ever tells you. When you go on your recruiting trips, it seems like it's fun. Coach is nice, team's nice.
Love you.
But when you get there, it's very real, and it's a job. You gotta love what you do now if you want to succeed at the Division I level, because it is a job. But I would just say, find yourself outside of your sport. Find yourself outside of the sport so you don't face burnout. Enjoy life. Like I said, your sport is not just you. You're so much more than it. But enjoy the process. Enjoy the process, and never forget where you came from and where you started. Whenever you're having a hard time, look back at where you started when you first started playing, like the Pee Wee, the rec, and just think, look back at that version of yourself and just think how proud of that version of yourself would be of you now. And that's what I think about.
Good. I love that.
The little 3. I have a picture of me. I think I'm 4 years old, and I'm in my soccer jersey, and I just think, what would she think of me now and where I am now?
Be like, man.
And honestly, kind of cliche, but dream big. That's what I would say. I never thought I would be able to play Division I soccer after changing my position 3 years before, and I never really thought. But it just goes to show you work ethic and working hard and just having fun every day and grinding it out it really, really, really pays off. And focus on your academics.
Yep.
Academics is massive because at the end of the day, a degree is a lot bigger than the sport sometimes. You know?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. That's a great exit. So take that, mark that. You should record that, watch it over and over and over, because that was great information from an athlete that's still, you know, in the middle of that and still developing, but also willing to share and open up about what's helped her get to the next level, and hopefully that helps you. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in, everyone for whether you're watching, whether you're listening. Number one, make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you follow. Make sure you follow her. She's not crazy on social media. Like, she's on there like a little bit, but we'll tag some stuff. We'll put some stuff on there. Maybe this will you know, get her going. But anyway, but yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, and we will definitely see you on the next episode. And this is the Elite Athlete Podcast, and we got young superstar over here. So make sure you guys follow her journey, follow the mission, and we'll keep going. See you on the next one.